Behavior observation. What type of data do I really need to be taking? Hey, special educators, this is Jennifer from Positively Learning, and I'm so glad that you found me here. All right, real talk. You probably just found this video by typing in something about behavior, data, and maybe the word help. And that is what I'm going to provide here. The purpose of this video is to give you two different options for behavior observation. And by the end of the video, you hopefully will know exactly which option is going to work best for you. And then you'll tuck the other one in your back pocket for future use. All right, so let's dig in. I am looking at a blog post right now. I will be sure to link this up. We want to think about the purpose of collecting data. Of course, we're not collecting data just for the sake of collecting it. So when I think about behavior observation and my own experiences in the classroom, I fall into two different paths or two different buckets. One is to learn more about the behavior so we can figure out what in the world we're going to do. The other one is maybe I already know about this behavior and I just want to see if what I'm doing is working. Those are two very different approaches. Yes, they can be combined and that would be awesome, but sometimes we just need a quick action. All right, so let's talk about the ABC chart first. Now, I have a blog post for each. I could probably make a video for each also. Let me know in the comments if that would be helpful. So, ABC data recording is talking about the antecedent, behavior, and consequence. So, let me give you some real talk about this because I know you already know what this is, but I'll just give you my own experience. Okay, first of all, oftentimes we arrive focusing in on the behavior. So, what's great about this type of data recording is it really makes us take a more holistic approach. We're thinking about what's happening before. Now, the antecedent for me was often the setting. I was just recording the time of day, the location, maybe a direction that was provided, even if it's like to the whole group or just maybe opening a door, flicking a light switch. That's an antecedent. So, even if you're thinking nothing is happening, this behavior is coming out of the blue, you can still record what's happening in the environment. All right, the behavior. Now, it's important to note that behavior is actually not positive or negative, it's just any observable action. Yes, most likely, if you've arrived at this video, it's having a negative impact, but a behavior is a behavior. A behavior could be sitting still, a behavior could be being really disruptive. It's anything action that is occurring. And then we have the consequence. Now, many times I hear nothing. This behavior is getting this child nothing. Okay, then that's a consequence. This child's not getting anything. That's what's happening directly after that behavior is occurring. Now, I will push back a little bit and just say, okay, try to see if there is something happening. Maybe someone else in the room is um, giving some type of eye contact, attention to a behavior. That would be a consequence that could possibly reinforce. We don't know. That's why we're collecting this data. All right. So if you're thinking, okay, I know, this sounds like a great idea. However, I don't have time for this. I've got you. And I totally understand that. I'm talking about myself. All right, let me show you a couple of ideas. Looking at this image right here, there's an ABC recording right in the center on the orange paper that gives a cheat sheet. Just some real common things that you might see in a classroom that you could put for the antecedent, the behavior, or the consequence, and there's room to add some more. Then I also want to suggest looking at the pink on the left. That's a data sheet that is pretty pre-populated. You could use the ABC, those actions that are listed, you could use that as a checklist. And again, there's room to add some more if you wanted to, but that can make the process go much, much faster. I want to make it easy because I really do believe in this. We're going to switch to frequency tracking in less than a minute, but I still don't want to just gloss over this because it feels so comfortable. It just provides such great information that we can even use to focus in on the frequency tracking. Okay, the last thing I want to mention is that you also want to think about ABC and then adding another B at the end. So that would be ABCB, and that would be a behavior that's occurring as a result of the consequence. So that consequence almost like turns into an antecedent. What is happening? Okay, this child has received some type of consequence. Maybe there was some type of attention response given to the behavior. So then what was the next behavior that child was exhibiting? Okay, the last thing I want to mention, and this goes with the data tracking that we're going to do for next for frequency tracking, is we want to be thinking about one behavior. And I know that is one of the things, that I struggled with just the most. And it was something that I worked with the school psychologist so much. It helped so much. Really, she helped reinforce that we're looking at one behavior. So, if there are multiple behaviors going on in the classroom, we want to focus in on like the one that's having the most impact. And that impact is probably not a good impact. So, I'm going to just give a quick example. A child is struggling with elopement, leaving the classroom, the assigned area without permission. And then when that child is in the classroom, there's a lot of disruptive behavior. And you could be listing out the different disruptions that are occurring. So, which behavior are you going to focus in on first? Well, you are the authority in your classroom. You know the answer to that already. In my case, I would choose the elopement first, even though the disruption is like the frustration level is just so high. But I would choose the elopement first because we really can't do a ton with what's happening inside the classroom if that child keeps leaving the classroom. So that is the target behavior. The good news is when you are focusing in on applying some type of intervention plan, strategy, often there is a ripple effect and many of the behaviors improve because maybe there's some positive interactions going on. Okay, switching gears really quickly. Maybe I have not convinced you to do ABC recording because you're thinking, I'm a one teacher show. I do not have time for that. I've got you. All right, talking about frequency tracking. I'll be sure to link this as well. Frequency tracking is simply marking how often this targeted behavior, because you've just chosen one, is occurring. And this could be as simple as tally marks, or maybe you have a digital option where you can, like, I don't know, use an app to click or a timer or something like that. But you want it to be as simple as possible. This is what I would suggest if I'm having a consultation with a general educator or if I'm working with a special educator that's trying to figure out what's happening. I would use frequency tracking in a couple of different ways. First, you could use it to find that behavior. Maybe you want to use the ABC data recording, but you're not sure what behavior to start with. Well, the frequency tracker can sometimes reveal which one is having the most impact on your classroom. You also can use this after an ABC data recording, after you've like really seen and learned more about what's happening in the environment, that holistic big picture, and now you're ready to apply some type of intervention strategy. Well, frequency tracking, simple tally marks, can be marked as progress. Is this intervention working or is there something else we need to be doing? So let's take that elopement scenario. You could be tracking this behavior before the ABC data, and you can say, okay, this child's eloped 6 times, for this interval of time. And maybe the interval is the morning, the afternoon, 1 hour, or the whole school day. Maybe it's even a week. But you've marked the tally marks. Okay, we've moved on to ABC data recording. We're starting to see a little bit more about what's happening before this elopement, what this child's getting after that elopement, what type of consequence or maybe reinforcer this child is getting, and so on. We're ready to apply a strategy. We think it's going to work. Let's find out. Now we're going back to this frequency tracker tracking. Okay, well, before this intervention, this child was eloping 6 times a day. Now this child is eloping 2 times a day. This frequency tracker is so helpful because 2 times a day can still feel like 100 when it's having an impact on your classroom. But by using this simple comparison of those tally marks, you can see, oh, wait a minute, this actually is working. I'm going to keep going. Okay, how are you doing? Do you know which path you're going to take? Are you going to be taking the ABC data recording that we talked about to gather that information, figure out your next steps? Or are you going to do the frequency tracking? Maybe you're using it before the ABC. Maybe you're using it because you already know what's going on and you want to apply some strategies. Let me know in the comments which one is the best for you. I am going to put these links in the comments so that you can read more. I cannot wait to hear. And also let me know if you want frequency tracking and ABC data recording to have their own videos. I'd be happy to deep dive into each one of those topics. All right, thanks so much for sticking with me, and thanks for all that you do. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single weekly video. All right, talk soon.